World Health Organization, over 300 million people are affected with depression annually. This cuts across all communities, irrespective of your socio-economic class, your religious group, your race, your gender. But depression affects women twice more than females. When people hear of the word depression, it often tells them this person must be on a medication. On today's show, at The Physicians, we are going to look at non-conventional ways of managing depression. Welcome to The Physicians.
Non-conventional ways of managing depression. That is actually the topic for today. Totally different from the methods you are used to hearing. Where else can you get that if not from watching and listening to The Physicians? My name is Dr. Martina Agberie.
Dr. Memuna Yusuf Kadri, welcome to The Physicians, where your health is our business.
Yes, indeed, your health is our business. Managing depression in a non-conventional way.
Should we start with your hairstyle?
Yes. I think
a different way. This will be one of the non-conventional ways because you're looking peng, you know.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, in life, variety, change is good.
You're right.
Because most times, doing the same thing all over, yes, it can actually make you feel depressed. Oftentimes I've heard about using medication for depression, but on our Physicians today, we'll give you the tips of managing depression in a non-conventional way.
We have a very important resource person by the name Mrs. Priscilla Benjamin Olari, who is a mental fitness expert, and she's going to do justice to this topic.
Thank you,
Mrs. Benjamin,
much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Martina, for having me. Thank you so much, Dr. Kadri, for having me. You see, we throw the word depression around. Everybody uses the word now. I usually would say that depression is the most abused mental health diagnosis, you know, in a lot of places. The moment someone feels sad, the person says, "Oh, I'm depressed." There's a difference between sadness and depression. And a lot of times I would say that when you say to yourself, "Oh, I'm depressed," no, that's self-labeling. What really is depression? So depression is a mood disorder. And it is characterized by, so when we talk mental health, we say thinking, feeling, and behavior. So what is the thinking that comes with depression, for example? The thinking, so sometimes we have cognitive distortions, where the person, you know, is having certain thinking that is not healthy or is not therapeutic. So what are those kind of thinking? For example, they could believe that they are responsible for the problems of their family. And maybe when they're out of the picture, the family would be at peace. Or sometimes they second-guess people a lot. Oh, people don't like me. I'm worthless. No, you hear that feeling of guilt. So these cognitive distortions or wrong thinking are what we refer to as, you know, the thinking part of depression. What's the feeling part? The feeling part is where the mood comes in. So you see someone who is suffering clinical depression, and I love to use the word clinical depression, because you must have been diagnosed by a psychiatrist for you to say that you are clinically depressed. Some people it's memory loss. They easily forget. You know, they notice that I used to be someone who remembers things a lot. What's going on with me? They're having that memory loss. For some other people, is the fact that they observe that things they usually would enjoy, they are no longer enjoying it. And you see, it's not all the time, because that's also the narrative of depression that we hear, that so many closed windows and all of that. There is also high functioning depression, where somebody is battling battling depression, but is going to work, is making food for the family, is doing everything that they're supposed to do, but is dealing
with depression.
With depression. And I usually would encourage.
And it's not expressed in any way.
But,
you
but
can't
not,
know.
Yes.
That is dangerous.
Which
dangerous.
is dangerous. We hear of Kate Spade.
Yeah.
You know, the lady who produces bags
Lovely
in America.
bag.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. She had high functioning depression. We heard of Anthony Bourdain, the
Yes.
CNN chef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was high functioning depression, and we have it all over the place. And I usually would say that we have a lot of undiagnosed cases, you know, when it comes to depression. But we must know that it's a mood disorder. There are different types of depression, and it varies in severity.
To liken the situation, the scenario now,
So let's
because people come to work all over, how's work, how's the
smiling,
family,
they're
they're
happy.
smiling, but deep down there is a
Something
problem.
going on.
Yes.
I'm loving the direction in which you're taking this conversation. And now that's it. I run a network, and this is basically what we teach. We say that mental health, there is nothing called, oh, I'm mentally well. Oh, me, I'm mentally ill. Oh, me, I'm mentally well. Oh, these are the people that are colo. Oh, these are, no, that's not
Yaba
how it
left.
works. That's not how it works.
They tell you like
Mental health is a continuum.
Yeah.
You know,
Good.
and all of us, every single human being in this world, we are on different aspects of the spectrum. Depending on what's going on in our lives per time, our state of mind per time, the alertness of our coping skills. There are sometimes our coping skills are failing.
You're right.
Absolutely agree.
You know, so I may be top notch in my ability to handle stress January, and in February I see that the same
What is
stress I used to
happening?
handle,
You
I
can't
can't
do that.
handle it.
Okay.
And then I get out of it. All right, so mental health is a continuum, and we're all on different aspects of the spectrum. So addressing the state of the nation, you know, we also talk about collective wellness or
Yeah.
collective insight. Now, addressing that, I'll tell you that there are so many undiagnosed cases. However, the fact that there is a lot of narrative about spirituality, the cultural inclination to people when it comes to mental illness or mental health, people do not even, and I also say that the stigmatization that
That is involved
comes with
with
it
it.
is not only in recognizing that
right.
something is wrong, it's also in seeking for help.
Very right.
So anybody who seeks for help is now tagged weak because it's only in our understanding, it's only the emotionally weak that break down.
that breaks down, yeah.
You know, so we have all of these narratives going on. We have people who do not understand that there are little lifestyle choices that can help with your mental health. And that's basically what, so I would always say that as a mental health expert, I have a bias for preventive mental health.
Very important.
And because my bias for preventive mental health is
important.
because there is primary and secondary prevention. So before you break down at all, what should you include in your everyday lifestyle?
So I think that is where the non-conventional ways come.
In our network, we developed this thing called the PIC wheel. The name of our network is the PIC network. In this wheel, we looked at the aspects of health and what you can do in your everyday life. When you wake up every day till you go to bed, what are those things you should include? Let's start with the physical aspect. The physical aspect involves your activity level. So some people have turned themselves into couch potatoes.
Yeah, right.
They sit on a spot,
Sedentary
and there are
lifestyle.
people who do everything for them, without them realizing that the more you do physical activity, the more your neurotransmitters,
It's produced.
serotonin,
Endorphins,
yes,
they are all
endorphins
produced.
and all of that, the more you produce it. So when you have that sedentary lifestyle, you are not producing those neurotransmitters or those hormones that would help you function appropriately.
Hello, my name is Cordelia Obe, and there's something I've come to know. A lot of us have questions in our hearts concerning our health or the health of the people around us. Sometimes you do not want to ask people questions. But guess what? If you watch the program The Physicians with Dr. Martina and Dr. Memuna, guess what? Oh, they are double M's. Ooh, you may just get to know a lot about what is going on in your own health or your own life. So watch it, whatever is on the air. Peace.
Welcome back to the Physicians. We have actually been discussing non-conventional ways of managing depression. And in the studio, in fact, she's been on top of it.
Too much.
I don't even want to stop anymore. Maybe you just continue. Exactly. Because I was like, really?
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about the physical aspect, you know, which is where we still are. You live in an apartment. I tell people that is not how rich you are. It is about how decent you keep your immediate environment. You don't know that when you keep everywhere dirty, it lowers your mood. Because it is feeding your mind with absence, lack, disorganization. It's feeding, everything is speaking to you. So when you keep your environment in disarray, you're not giving yourself, you're not giving your mind the room to see a beautiful picture or a beautiful future. You need to, please, don't leave your walls unpainted. These are unconventional, these are not clinical, right? But the things that we don't talk about in the clinical area. Paint your room once in a year. There's a lift that it gives to you. There is a, I invest very heavily in smell. That's because, in fact, I have a hand fan in my bag. That hand fan is scented with the smell of money. Ha! I tell you.
So, no, please, is there some smell of money? Is there
it's a hand fan.
Mint.
Yes, with mint. You know, there's a fragrance of mint.
Yes.
I tell you. Because, you know, every single time, I just want to perceive that wisp.
Of money.
Yes. It's a motivation.
I'm following you to your car.
I tell you, it's
we all need that.
It's a motivation. So you need to know the smell that puts you in a low mood. We're not present, which is what we're going to talk about when we begin to talk about unconventional ways. We are not present in our lives. We are just spectators of what's going on in our lives. We're spectators. We let things happen to us. So I usually would encourage your physical environment, invest in it. So aside this, we want to look at your psychological health. Or the psychological domain. Now this talks about how well you love your personality, what your personality is about. What's your self-concept like? How do you view yourself in comparison with the world, or in comparison with your social circle, or in comparison with the way you handle things? What's your perception of yourself? This is unconventional, right? But it's very important that you take a look that, okay, pay attention to how you handle stressors. Pay attention to how you handle stress. When you're under stress, do you try to go and take cigarettes, or you want to take
some sips of
alcohol, or you want to call your girlfriend, you want to have sex, or you want to call your boyfriend, you want to have sex? I mean, these are unhealthy ways that people deal with their emotional problems rather than dealing
with the main thing,
with the main problem.
So the underlying pathology is there.
The underlying pathology is there and it's not going
anywhere.
What is your relationships like? The kind of people that you surround yourself with, are they toxic? You know, and you know, usually when we make a diagnosis, you know, we use the psychosocial model. You know, we want to look at what's happening in the social life of this person. What's wrong with social functioning? So this person, for example, is a person in a toxic environment, and it brings me to what I always love to say. So whenever I speak, I usually would use this quote. I say that I may not have food to eat, I may not have clothes to wear, in fact I may not have where to lay my head, but one thing is sure, my mind is my palace.
Awesome.
And I will not let anyone walk through my mind with their dirty feet.
Can I add one thing to that? And you have to be a queen to live in that palace. You are the queen.
That's it. I am the queen of my palace. And this is what I often say. No matter how local a village looks like, the most beautiful part in that village will be where? The palace.
You're right.
The palace of any place depicts their wealth,
exactly.
How great. In fact, when there is war, once the palace is taken over, then that war is gone. The war is won. That's it. Because the most important.
So the mind now.
My mind is my own palace.
If anything goes wrong.
If anything goes wrong, everything goes wrong. Right?
So you must guard it with your heart.
You must. I tell people that you must be selfish
with your mind.
And it's not selfishness.
The wealth of your mind, or the health.
Yeah.
Yes. It's not
self-preservation.
It's self-preservation.
Yes. You first.
You first. So that's it. And in fact, I did an extensive audio product on this, right? I'll give to you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
And of course, our viewers, you listening, people are going to win giveaway from these audio videos.
Yes. So so I spoke in that audio product. It's a 3-part CD, and I spoke extensively on the first CD is My Mind, My Palace. The second one talks about mental detoxification, which is where I'm going. So we detox every part of our body. Some people do water therapy, some people do lime, some people do apple cider vinegar. We do all sorts. Some people take the herbs or the agbo. We do all of that because we want to cleanse our system. We say jedi and all of. We do all of that, but we neglect the operating system.
The palace.
Which, if it goes wrong, everything has gone wrong. So you go through your day, everybody's carrying their baggage, their emotional baggage. When you see people lashing out all of the time, it's because they're carrying the baggage. So you know what someone who is lashing out is doing? Is giving you the baggage to carry.
Who will carry it?
Carry it.
Who will carry it?
Hold your baggage.
My mind is my palace. And I will not let anyone walk through my mind with their dirty feet. So mental detoxification is what you must also, and when we begin to talk about the non-conventional, I would expatiate, more on that. So you must guard your social relationships and the people around you. And this is often what I also say often, that if we take away where you live, the kind of house that you live in, if we take away the type of car that you drive, if we take away the friends
that you have,
the so-called friends that you have, if we take away your title. If you're a doctor, we'll take away the title doctor.
Chief.
Whatever, you're chief or governor, whatever it is. We'll take away all of those titles. How do you feel? Do you feel a sense of relevance, emptiness, loss? I mean, we want to see how do you feel after all of this is taken away? How concrete is your personality? So we'll talk about concreteness of your personality. So this is the social domain. An area that is very controversial is the spiritual domain. Any human being, has to come to that understanding that there is a power higher than you. No matter what God means to you, there is something that is outside of the external that keeps you in one piece. And you must nurture that domain as well.
Wow.
Don't go. No, let's see. This I've already booked my send that would disperses the mint because I need it.
One thing that at least I will take away from what you have just said, and which I also want to pass to our viewers is, you may not have control over all that happens around you, but for sure you are in control of your mind. And your mind is your palace. So we'll be back after this time out. Just ensure that your palace is intact. Nobody messes around with your palace. Nobody does anything that will deter or defame your palace. We'll be back after this time out. Just stay tuned.
Mrs. Benjamin, the
non-conventional
ways of managing depression, not just the taking of the green pills, the yellow pills, because that's what people normally believe. Once you are depressed, they will ask you to take medication, and medication is for life. But we do all know that that is not even the first line of managing depression. And today on this show, we are talking about non-conventional ways of managing depression. Please.
Yes, I will go into that, but I want to give a caveat because it's very also important that we balance it. Please don't say that you want to do only this non-conventional method.
Very beautiful.
And ignore the fact that if you need to take medication, we said that depression is in severity. Depending on the severity of what you're dealing with.
And the spectrum that
So, and the comorbidity. What are other things that are you dealing with? Anxiety? Are you having some psychotic symptoms?
If you need medication, please take your medication, and there's no harm in that.
Prescribed by a doctor.
Yes, you would also need psychotherapy. So what are those non-conventional things? I always like to, a lot of what I teach, I want to do first. Because I want to test it. You have a product you're selling. Has it worked for you? So last year, I created something called Romance with Nature. I want to romance with nature. And what do? That was because I went through a journey of self-awareness, and I saw that every single time I'm in nature, I feel I'm different. I'm re-energized. And also because of the confidentiality that comes with our work, I can't even discuss my clients with my husband, for example. Exactly. He can't even know their names. How much more diagnosis? Like, you don't do that. You don't break the confidentiality clause. So there is nobody you can talk to. And also because, you know, being an expert is not just, you know, mental health for me is not just a career. It's a life's work. You know? So for me, it's about the fact that I'm also an empath. So I'm present, listening. So sometimes you listen to clients and you are to put yourself in that position. Well, sometimes I go into my office and I cry. I'm not joking. Right?
It's okay not to be okay.
It's okay not to be okay. So because of that, I had to start romance with nature. Now that's my own occupational hazard, right? So I had to start romance with nature. And romance in nature is that I go into nature every week. Every week but because I understand that routine also bores me. So if I'm at a research today, I'll go to a garden tomorrow. I go to a conservation center. So I have, you know, annual membership.
So when you go there, what do you do?
So what do I just do? I am present in nature. It doesn't have to be structured. And now nature might not work for everybody.
Exactly.
Nature might not work for everybody. Yes. So
if you're not the nature type,
I go with the book. Sometimes I'm just observing. You'll be amazed at how much you will observe. Just watching. Yeah. And just looking. And sometimes if you're someone who refuels with people, then go with people.
About yoga.
Yes, so when we talk about meditation, for example, meditation comes alongside with yoga and relaxation skills. I'm excited to talk about relaxation skills. So yes, yoga. We talk about yoga. There is a narrative that comes with yoga as if it is mystical. You know, some people think it's something mystical. People who are, you know, the church-going people don't want to have anything to do with it because they believe that it is a Hindu practice. You know, so it's about what works for you. So you want, but the thing about yoga is that those positions put you in a particular state. Yeah. All right. So yoga is also exercise. Is another non-conventional method, which you won't put on your prescription sheet.
Yes.
Exercise.
And it's highly underutilized.
And it's highly underutilized.
In managing depression.
Absolutely. You also we talk about artwork, painting.
Very good. I was going to say that.
Oh yes. So if artwork, painting, if you need to learn a new skill, you want to enroll for salsa classes, you want to enroll for ballet, you want to do that. You know, you also want to do that, which is non-conventional, you know, in its own way. Now, I said I love the way both of you looked. That's an unconventional method. That in itself is aesthetics. So you want to, I'm not asking you to to become a junk collector or someone who now ignores other areas and lets other areas suffer because you want to. But do you know that so you could play dress up at home. Play dress up.
And look at yourself in the mirror.
And look at yourself in the mirror.
And praise yourself.
So it is role playing. Yeah. So I want to dress up now as a female president. I'm not doing anything at home. I just want to dress up as a female president. I'll look through my closet. If I'm invited to Aso Rock today, which clothes will I wear? I will wear it. Dress up.
And show up.
And role play.
You can't show up.
Role play. So if I meet Oprah, if I meet Oprah today, what am I going to ask her? I will ask her. I'll pretend like she's right there in front of me. Because I'm trying to do something to myself psychologically. Now this is non-conventional, and it's also encouraged.
In fact, we can't exhaust this, and it has been so amazing with the music therapy, play therapy, being with the nature, relaxation techniques, meditation, so much more. Looking good.
Play.
Yes, play therapy. Yes, so
play therapy is only for adults.
No, anybody. So you see, we can't even. I think we need to bring Mrs. Benjamin back.
She has a whole lot to offer in our program. It's a promise. She'll be back on this program.
I will come.
So I just want to thank you, Mrs. Benjamin, for coming on our program, The Physicians. It's actually a thing of honor. having you. And the fire, the zeal is actually
too much. Look at
it. Actually much. It just shows that you practice what you preach. And to our viewers out there, I'm sure you all had a nice time listening to the non-conventional methods of managing depression. Like you said earlier, you still need to use medication prescribed by the medical doctor if you're on it. But these non-conventional methods are actually supposed to be like support.
Yes.
Helping you pull through it. And again, family support is very, very important. When you feel you're depressed, you are not the only one going through it. A lot of people are going through the same thing, even worse than what you think you're going through. Everyone at one stage or the other in life goes through their depressive state. But ability to be able to cope with it matters. So on that note, we want to say a very big thank you for keeping a date with us, for watching The Physicians, for always being there.
If you want to be a part of this show, please, we are just an email away. Till next time, thank you.
Keep sending the comments in. We appreciate them. We'll always respond. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
Family planning and this child spacing, is it a myth or even a reality?
Beyond taking up the method of family planning to prevent pregnancies, unwanted ones, or unintended ones, beyond taking up family planning methods that would say, okay, I don't want to have a child now, there are also some other skills that we teach with it.
We're talking about family planning, and this particular time, more attention is being given to the adolescents, the youth in our society.
Family planning, it's a real thing. It's a reality. It's not a myth. It's not something that you just say or you just pass by. It's something that should be taken seriously.
And you must practice it.